to really explore all options and see like what is the best. Like maybe that apartment or maybe. Mm-hmm. I mean, Here I'm talking. What's up, Grimchild, my brother? Are you feeling better after your car accident? Man, I've been praying and concerned for you. Chilling nice. All right. Yeah, of course. It's an easy ask. I'll only grab my souls. Yeah. We still got a bit. So we just got to read one section. You ready to read the section? Okay, let's read the section. So I'm flexible with us doing one section, and then we save. Then if you if you want to, you could push one section until later. We technically have to do two, but I'm fine just reading one because we are technically in debt. So we can consume the debt. I know. I'm going to beat down Lava Spider Lady. But first, Genesis. Do you want... Are you tired of my old man voice? Would you like a younger Ethan voice to read? Oh. You have to read now.
Old man.
I am? I am old. Oh no. I do have gray hairs actually.
Oh man.
Yeah. All right. Genesis chapter 46, 1-34. Call no one happy until they are dead. That is it. That's a chilling title. So Israel made the journey with all that was his, and he came to Beersheba. He offered sacrifice to the God of his father Isaac, and God said to Israel in a vision at night, Jacob, Jacob. He said, I'm here. He said, I'm God, the God of your father. So remember, oh, this is so good. This is so good, though. Remember how Yahweh showed up to Jacob? And he's like, I'm here for you. And Jacob's like, well, if you provide for me, give me good family, give me good land. So now here is Yahweh going, dude, I'm here for you. And now he's an old man. He said, I'm here. He said, I'm God, the God of your father. Remember, he was doing a lot of if clauses, right? If you provide this, if you do this, then me and my family will serve you, God. And now, like you seeing from his cheating, treacherous ways, where that has like made him a sad man. Even with all the stuff that he still got. Like he got all the stuff he asked for. But all the lying and cheating made him a very sad man. Sad boy, yep. He said, I'm here. He said, I'm God. I am here. I'm God, the God of your father. Don't be afraid of going down to Egypt, because I will establish you there as a great nation. I myself will go down with you to Egypt, and I will also definitely bring you up from there when Joseph closes your eyes. So Jacob set off from Beersheba. Israel's sons transported their father Jacob, their little ones, and their wives on the wagons that Pharaoh had sent to transport him, and got their livestock and the wealth that they had acquired in the country of Canaan. And Jacob and all his offsprings with him came to Egypt, his sons and his grandsons with him, his daughters and his granddaughters, and all his offspring he brought with him to Egypt. There you go. I prefer the no straw life. Less cleaning.
What did you say?
I said I prefer no straw, less cleaning. Because there's gonna be eventually a point that there's gonna be eventual point. It's like, oh, I gotta clean this. The gunk's not getting out with my little pipe cleaner. Why is it not getting out?
That's why I only use it with liquid. Not smoothie.
These are the names of the descendants of Israel who came to Egypt. Jacob and his descendants. Jacob's firstborn Reuben. Reuben's sons, Enoch, Palu, Hezron, and Carmi. Simon's sons, Jamel, Jamin, Ohad, Jachin, Zohar, and Saul, the son of a Canaanite woman. Levi's sons, Gershon, Kahoth, and Miri. Judah's sons, Onan, Shelah, Perez, and Zurah. But and Onan had died in the country of Canaan. Remember, they're the ones who did bad. First one did bad, and the other one's like, I'm going to not be a good brother. Perez's sons were Hezron and Hamel. Issachar's sons, Telu, Pazvu, Iob, and Shimron. Zebulun's sons, Sereb, Elon, and Jehulad. These are the sons of Leah, whom she bore Jacob in Paddan Aram, and his daughter Dinah. Counting every person, his sons and his daughters came to 33. Gad's sons, Zephon, Hagi, Shuni, Ezbon, Eri, Erodai, and Erli. Asher's sons, Imnah, Ishva, Ichvi, and Bera, their sister being Sarah. Berea's sons, Heber and Malkel. These are the sons of Zilpah, whom Laban gave to his daughter Leah. She bore these for Jacob, 16 persons in all. The sons of Jacob's wife Rachel were Joseph and Benjamin. To Joseph were born in the country of Egypt Manasseh and Ephraim, whom Asenath, the daughter of Potiphar, the priest of Helophius, bore him. Benjamin's sons, Beli, Bekar, Ashbel, Gera, Naaman, Eli, Ahi, Rosh, Ahi, Mufin, Hupin, and Ard. Let's just say it does. These are the sons of Rachel who were born in Jacob, counting every person 14. Dan's sons, Hushem, Naphtali's sons, Jahazel, Guni, Jazar, and Shillam. These are the sons of Bilhah, whom Laban gave to his daughter Rachel. She bore these for Jacob, counting every person 7, counting every person belonging to Jacob who came to Egypt. The person who came forth from his body, apart from the wives of Jacob's sons, counting every person, were 66, while Joseph's sons, who were born to him in Egypt, were 2. Counting every person belonging to Jacob's household who came down to Egypt, 70. I was going to laugh so hard because it does everything besides your favorite number, like only 66 people and 68 people. It just like literally skips over your favorite number.
Oh, it is Achi. Get out of here, Ethan.
So I did have the claudical.
Hey, Hebrew. Yeah, dude. The Hebrew letter. There's so many things that you'll just straight up miss unless you look at the original Hebrew. Yeah. It is amazing.
All right. No. Judah was one he sent ahead of him to Joseph to show the way before him to Goshen. So they came to the region of Goshen. And Joseph harnessed his chariots and came up to meet his father Israel in Goshen. When he appeared before him, he threw his arms around his neck and wept on his neck again and again. Israel said to Joseph, I can die now, for I have seen your face, seeing that you are still alive. Joseph said to his brothers and his father's household, I will go up and tell Pharaoh and say to him, my brothers and my father's household who were in the country of Canaan, they have come to me. The men are shepherds because they have been livestock men, and their flocks and their cattle and all that is theirs. They have brought it. So when Pharaoh summons you and says, what is your work? Say, your servants have been livestock men from our youth until now, both we and our ancestors. So they may live in the region of Goshen, because all shepherds are an offense to Egyptians. All right. So Joseph got his papa. His papa made a sacrifice, and here Yahweh appeared to him again. He goes, I'm here for you. Go to Egypt. Yeah. All right. And what's cool is we're going to see like they're going to be numerous. They're going to suffer, but Yahweh's going to bring a mighty act from their suffering. Introducing Genesis 44, I refer to one instant in the life of man and woman. Then introducing Genesis 45, I refer to an aspect of my wife and my life. In different ways, both stories show how at the time something happens. You can never see the entire significance of a particular incident. There's an ancient Greek saying that urges people to call no one happy until they're dead. Huh. It's the first I've heard that.
Oh, that makes sense. With the Greek afterlife thing.
Yeah. It is not the gloomy statement it at first sounds. It means that only at the end of someone's life is it possible to make a judgment, when you can look at the life as a whole. The stories of Abraham and Isaac comprise a collection of separate accounts of individual events in their lives. There are few links between them, though you do get some extra insight into the significance of each individual story when you read it as part of a whole. But you can read each of the stories on its own and get quite a lot of its point. That's not so with the Joseph story. The Jacob story is somewhere in between. In this book, the ratio of text to my comment and concerning the Joseph story is different from what it was through most of the rest of the Genesis. It's not because I've run out of space or energy, but because it is a different kind of story. The episodes are all interconnected. And when you read one chapter on its own, it was much less significant in isolation from the rest than is the case earlier in Genesis. There is a theological point here. The earlier stories show God involved in the individual incidents in someone's life. The Joseph story shows God involved in the long haul of a life. It shows how experiences and events are interconnected with God involved in the interconnections. This present chapter reminds us of a related point. I have referred to it as the Joseph story, but actually it is the Jacob story. It began by telling us this in Genesis 37. The story relates how Jacob and his family ended up in Egypt. So not only do the individual episodes in Joseph's story need to be seen in the context of the drama of his life as a whole, but the Joseph drama as a whole also needs to be seen in that wider context. In the West, we are often especially interested in what happens to the individuals. We focus on our own importance as individuals. Genesis reckons that the broader drama of God's purpose is also important. So you hear that? So we usually like to focus on the individual story. Wow. And that's just because we live in a very also individual purpose culture. But in the ancients and in Genesis, it's focusing on God's purpose as a whole and the people group as a whole. And we get the individual story that affects the whole narrative. Joseph's story is part of Jacob's story, and Jacob's story is part of the story of God fulfilling a purpose for the whole as a world. And what was the purpose for the Israelites family? To bless the whole nations, right? With beans.
That's not related to anything.
You're telling me you've never been blessed with beans?
Dude, I'm saying you must be like the account of one of the mighty men defending a field of lentils. It is like from like 300
It's
Philistines.
probably my ancestor.
There you go.
That's probably why I like beans so much.
No.
This is food, dude. This is beans. I think
He's going to be like
Yeah, says it
Joseph. My gosh. Ethan in like 60 years. He's going to be 70 years, whatever, 80. I'll give you a long life. He's going to be on his deathbed with gray hair. Beans are so important.
I see the heavens open, and there's beans.
This is not food. This is
like
beans.
beans from heaven.
You know, I think of that absolute garbage.
I
And
don't know.
what are your fish
I think it's absolutely delicious.
Says the person doesn't have a curved bike, not even have a gear.
But I do have
Beans.
beans.
All right. One reason it may also be our story is that it may illustrate dynamics present in our lives. But it's definitely our story for another reason. We are the heirs of what God did back then. As Christians, we enjoy God's blessing because God set going an intention to bless the world by means of Abraham and Sarah and their family, and the Joseph story is part of that. We are indebted to Joseph. So Jacob goes back down to Egypt. It is the means whereby the family will not only survive, but flourish, and whereby the purpose of God's will not only stay on track, but advance. In light of the way the story will unfold in Exodus, there is some irony in this fact. For Israelites listening to the story, Egypt was chiefly a place of oppression and bondage. Yet it starts off as a place of refuge, rescue, and growth. One would be hesitant to go down to Egypt, and it would not be surprising if Jacob himself is hesitant about leaving Canaan. When he was on his way out of Canaan on the run from Esau, God appeared to him at Bethel. Now he is on his way out in the opposite direction. The country can be described as extending from Dan in the north to Beersheba in the south for practical purposes. Beersheba marks its southern boundary, since between Beersheba and Egypt there's only desert. At the beginning of this chapter, it is as if Jacob hesitates for a moment at Beersheba. So God appears to him again, once more telling him that things will be okay. God will be with him and going and with him and coming back for this burial in the land of promise. For his burial in the land of promise. The Egyptians' aversion for shepherds is perhaps an aspect of their aversion to foreigners. Genesis 43:28 referred to their dislike of eating with foreigners. As shepherds, Jacob's family were not a settled people, and unsettled peoples often make settled people feel uneasy. Like other immigrant communities, the family members therefore end up living together rather than living among their host community. But that may facilitate their staying together and not losing their identity. Amen. All right. Any quick thoughts, Ethan?
Yes, I thought I had heard somewhere that
Beans.
the aversion to
Foreigners.
shepherds is because not just like they didn't like foreigners, but also because they saw sheep as unclean.
Tell me the Egyptians saw sheep as clean.
Because you do see that reflected in the Exodus, where Moses is given permission to have the Israelites offer their sacrifices, but in the land of Egypt, and he's like, no, why would we do that?
Yeah.
The sacrifices that we would offer
Mm-hmm.
not be acceptable in the eyes of the Egyptians.
Yeah. It'll be something to see once we get there. 'Cause it makes you wonder also if it's just their adherence to the one God, the creator of heaven and earth, which then says no to other gods. So, thoughts?
That too.
Yeah.
What I do know is I need to use the bathroom. So I'm going to.
Yep, we can start. But so that you're saying you want to push reading section till later? Okay. You want to try to stay black? Are you going to actually even dye your hair to keep your hair black? Oh, wait, they move? Oh, wait, I'm facing the wrong way. Oh, gosh. Man, that is... She is aggressive. Chaos with Q leg. Okay, I just need to lock in. I would like to have those gather souls. So that means when my poison wears off, fire resistance is going to be really important. Yep. There's actually changed some extra attack patterns. What? Oh. Come on, move, move! Okay, how many get stuck between the legs? I'm not angry. You're angry. Two different sets. I rolled. Meet her halfway now. Chill. 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 I'm gonna do this. Oof, oof, oof. Oh, it's dead. Oh. It's that door. Oh. Little souls. Let's try not losing them. Let's do it. I want to spend my souls. I don't want to lose them. My kingdom is here. I want to be part of it. Oh, nice. Interesting. I beat the thing. The thing died. The spooter. The fire spooter. Yeah. Poisons. Poisons.
Fuck.
Forgot to light the. Yeah, I'm going to have to refight those guys, but I would rather relight the on fire. I just was so focused that I forgot to do that. Eye of Death. Huh. Huh. Oh, hello there. That's a big one. Oof, oof, oof. Oh, I think I've had the extra health. Move. No! Oh gosh. I got careless. Dark Souls is dude, it's like one of those games that you can't like your brain has to always be locked in. You can't just take like a fast, easy route. You have to do the long, arduous process to stay alive. Oh. I was like, no, it's not. And here's the ladder. And I can put on my heavy armor. Once I get to the mushrooms, the alien punch. For best of my knowledge, I'll be out of the nasty curse. Oh, really? No, he can't backstab them. Oh, not good. We'll do best not to lose those souls. No, I just need to use the restroom. Just all I'll say though is I'm just going to give you a little bit extra time as part of that flexibility. So at I'll say 6:55, 7, we have to stop and read, and then after reading, then we'll bounce. Okay. Thank you. All right. My brain's back to knowing where I am. So funny to get beat down by little mushroom people. No smoke for you. No smoke for you. So something to consider, Ethan? I thought they're Silking Machine Hydro Balls. Now I gotta find. Ah, should have been blocking. Oh, get closer. There we go. Yeah. Well, there you go. I already chopped a couple of heads. I am winning this. Char, guess what? I killed it.
Guess what? Guess what? Guess what? Guess what?
It's dead.
Nice.
What's that? Oh. Na ni na na douche ni na.
Don't
What I saw him.
shadow. Funny.
I have no idea what that is. Shadow. Is it just a random meme?
It's a random.
Just a random meme. Okay.
bunch of funny words together.
Shadow.
Shadow.
Have you ever seen the PC game called Wizards?
Don't
It's
think-
okay. I love it. It looks like you're like flying as a pretty butterfly.
Oh, you're doing it wrong.
What? That is the most strangest looking crab I've seen, or oyster I've seen in a while.
Oh, no, that's crazy. That's
Dude, it's gonna be your nightmares, isn't it?
good.
Oh. Oh. Okay. Give me a twinkling titanium, which is used to level up weapons.
Oh.
Oh no! I guess it's a drop chance.
Loaded.
Bro likes any reference to Alec Beck. He's like, give me more Alec Beck.
And now I'm back in.
Whoa. I just accidentally got the name wrong, and it was Pro Trigger. Oh gosh. Move. Nope. Nope. They gonna chase me. Keep watching. After me. Okay.
No, whoa. What?
And actually, the dingy stuff is the best against.
Okay. Is it dingy or is it dingy?
Those are just good questions.
Oh, it's
Dingy. Called dingy. It goes with Char's thing 1 and thing 2. Dingy 1 and dingy 2. I'm the Lord of the Ding. Lord of the Ding.
Oh, God.
Oh, don't think I ever had date syrup. Good? Ooh.
Oh, oh, gotta find.
That description makes me not want to have it. Find the ones that look kind of slimy.
Well,
The,
yeah.
the slimiest the better. There's no better date than the slimy date.
Exactly.
Keep your slimy gross.
What is
I have no idea.
on?
Those things that made me hate life yesterday. Oh, what's that? Okay. We're back to. Oof, oof. Oh. What? This Crimson actually has better numbers.
I keep thinking it's sad. You're making me feel from my video game.
Oh. Demon.
Oh. I have joined the Dragon Covenant. Sure.
Ah.
Double whacked me. Hi. 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 Oh, that's cool. So it's a double swing.
Of course.
Oh, okay, I see. Doesn't actually hit him twice. It just shows him doing the. A purging stone? Yes. Dude, if I ever get cursed, which is like the worst thing that happens when you die, then You only have 50% of your HP until you do something to release the curse, like get a purging stone. Oh man. You have like no idea how helpful that is. All right, 3 minutes. So most likely after that game. Is that fair? We could just say after that game? As the boss? Are you asking then to after that game then? Okay, I can be flexible with that. But then let's get immediately. Oh. Oh, really? Ugh. Oh. It has better numbers. Okay. Oh wait, of course there's a fire over there. I should hit it. Being a silly goose. Oh, that. I was able to take a hit from them in the past, so I don't know what's different. Is there like some sort of set bonus? I'm curious. Sweet. All right. Let's read. We're first going to read, then see. Oh. This old screen is flickering. Luckily, it's not a main screen, as that will be very annoying. All right. Time to chug, chug, chug. Mm-hmm. All right. Look at us. It's like back in the day, we used to go through books like no problem. Now it takes forever to get through a book. We used to read so much back in the day. No.
Just immediately shut down.
Genesis chapter 47, 1 through 26. Naturalization. Joseph came and told Pharaoh, my father and my brothers, and their flocks and their cattle and all that is theirs, they have come from the country Canaan. Yes, they are in the region of, they have come from the country Canaan. Yes, they are in the region of Goshen. He took some of his brothers, 5 of them, and presented them before Pharaoh. Pharaoh said to his brothers, what is your work? They said to Pharaoh, your servants are shepherds, both we and our ancestors. They said to Pharaoh, it is to stay in the country as migrants that we have come, because there is no pasture for your servants' flock, because the famine is severe in the country of Canaan. so that now your servants may please live in the region of Goshen. Pharaoh said to Joseph, given that your father and your brothers have come to you, the country of Egypt is before you. Have your father and brothers live in the best part of the country, in the region of Goshen, and if you know that there are some capable men among them, make them livestock heads over all that is mine. Joseph brought his father Jacob and presented him before Pharaoh. And Jacob blessed Pharaoh. Pharaoh said to Jacob, how many are the years of your life? Jacob said to Pharaoh, the years of my stay are 130. Few and hard have been the years of my life. They have not reached the years of the lives of my ancestors during their stay. So Jacob blessed Pharaoh and left Pharaoh's presence. And Joseph settled his father and his brothers and gave them a holding in the country of Egypt, in the best part of the country, in the region of Ramesses, as Pharaoh had instructed. Joseph provided for his father and his brothers and all his father's household with food according to the number of the little ones. But food there was none in the country, because the famine was very severe. The country of Egypt and the country of Canaan withered because of the famine. Joseph collected all the money that was to be found in the country of Egypt and the country of Canaan in payment for the grain that they were buying. Joseph brought the money to Pharaoh's house. When the money from the country of Egypt and the country of Canaan came to an end, all Egypt came to Joseph saying, give us food. Why should we die in front of you? Because money is gone. Joseph, bring your livestock, and I will give it to you in exchange for your livestock if money is gone. So they brought their livestock to Joseph, and Joseph gave them food in exchange for the horses, for the stocks of sheep, for the stocks of cattle, and for the donkeys. He provided them with food in exchange for all their livestock that year. When that year came to an end, they came to him the next year and said to him, we will not hide from our Lord that the money has come to an end, and the animal stocks belong to my Lord. There is nothing left before my Lord except our bodies and our land. Why should we die before your eyes, both we and our land? Take possession of us and our land in exchange for food. We ourselves and our land will be serfs to Pharaoh. Give seed so that we may live and not die, and our land not become a waste. So Joseph took possession of all the land in Egypt for Pharaoh, because the Egyptians, they hold all the bread. No matter what. Yeah. But whoever holds the food in the end has the power. There's many revolutions that have started because there's not enough food to go around. So Joseph took possessions of all the land in Egypt for Pharaoh, because the Egyptians, each of them, sold their fields because the famine was so tough for them, and the country came to belong to Pharaoh. And the people, he caused them to move into the cities from one end of Egypt to the other. However, he did not take possession of the priest's land, because the priests had a statutory allotment from Pharaoh, and they ate their allotment that Pharaoh gave them. Thus, they did not sell their land. Joseph said to the people, now, today, I have taken possession of you and your land for Pharaoh. He will receive for you. You will sow the land, and at the harvest you will give a fifth to Pharaoh, and 4/5 will be yours, as seed for the fields, and as food for you and for those in your household, and as food for your little ones. They said, you have kept us alive. We have found favor in the eyes of my Lord. We will be serfs to Pharaoh. Joseph made it a statute till this day for the land of Egypt. A fifth is Pharaoh's. However, the priest's land alone did not become Pharaoh's. So now we're starting to see the stepping process of consolidating power, which gives us little hints of this, how the state become the way Egypt was, into servitude and slavery of the Israelites later. Any quick thoughts there, Ethan?
Just the amount that is taken from the Egyptians is twice 1/10. So 2/10 or 1/5. Which I find interesting because it was 1/10 that was required of God's people
Mm-hmm.
each year,
Mm-hmm.
each harvest.
Yeah. So you're recognizing.
That was as part of like their storehouse, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
They were basically doing 1/10 for all the years, but because the 7 years of famine pretty much yielded nothing whatsoever, it was added on to the years of plenty, and so that became a fifth or 2/10.
And what's also cool about the law is that 1/10 was for the priest, the immigrant, and the poor, the widow. And so it was their way, and that's actually was a form of worship. Even though, yes, 1/5 for Pharaoh, since he is seen as a god king, is kind of, I guess, kind of say is a form of worship, but that worship did not lead towards, I guess, distributing grain, which is distributing power. This allotment went into the hands of the elite. So thank you. In the recession of 2008 and its aftermath, a new N-word was uttered in hushed tones in the United States. To many people, naturalization was as frightening a notion as government-organized health insurance. But the question had to be asked, was this the best way or even the only way to deal with the perilous state of banks and auto companies? Whereas European countries were willing enough to act on this assumption, it is not the U.S. way. Joseph is the Bible's great nationalizer. He exercised power in Egypt at a moment of great crisis, a crisis he knew was coming and one with which he knew how to cope. There's a little hint in the story of any awareness that there might be another way to cope with it, or any awareness that there might be a downside to his action. One might think the backstory is jaw-droppingly similar to ones that occur in our world. Egypt and Canaan know years of prosperity. Part of the background is that for long periods, Canaan, while nominally a country of independent city-states, was part of a broader mini-empire under Egyptian control. Through that period, they lived well, but no one except Joseph would have given a thought to the future. Presumably, Joseph is able to store the surplus grain of the good years because he buys it from the people, and presumably the fact of the surplus means he doesn't have to pay much for it. One might even imagine Egyptian farmers laughing all the way to the bank at Joseph's paying them for grain no one is ever going to need. Whereas they could have stored it up for themselves, selling it and or eating well, and or using the money to build swimming pools in their yard seems a better idea. Then, when they need to buy it back from Joseph, it will not be surprising if they find the price has gone up. Maybe there is no way out of that dynamic, as perhaps there is no way of avoiding recessions. They are caused by human weakness and greed, and maybe there is no way out of their losing their lands and their freedom as a result. But it feels as if there is something wrong with the process whereby everybody ends up as Pharaoh's servants or serfs or slaves. Hebrew uses the same word for all three of these meanings. That's interesting. So Hebrew word for servant, serf, or slaves. You know what serf is? So Russia before, when they were under a king, it was a serf system. And so you had your land, but it's pretty much how they had their but then the portion of your grain always goes towards the king. Slaves is you're literally, you're owned. And any of these are suboptimal. Mm. Yeah. I don't know what word it is, but I forgot. Actually, I forgot. But what's really cool is the word for Adam and Eve work in the garden. The same word, this is really cool though. The same word that's for Adam and Eve work in the garden is the same word for the priest working in the temple. And so then you can say having grains, having family, if done with the wisdom of Yahweh, is another form of worship. The people were not slaves in a sense. The people were not slaves in the sense that the United States has known slavery, but were more like sharecroppers who previously had their own land, freedom, and independence. You know what a sharecropper is? This actually is a really big thing. Actually, even during slavery, post-slavery, is where I own the land, but I let you work on the land for a part of the harvest. The references moving them in the cities is surprising, and modern translations assume the text has been changed. But the reference recalls the way developments like this results in the flight to the cities and the peasants having to commute from there to farm the land that was once their own but has come into the control of big landowners. The deepest irony is that the serfdom Joseph introduces naturally embraces his own family independence. It means that eventually they will need to be rescued from the household of serfs. By then, they are evidently in a more subservient position than other people because such is often the fate of a foreign community present in the country on sufferance. Especially when the economy goes south. Perhaps it would have happened without Joseph's action. Or perhaps it's a typical example of the way governments and their other bodies have to make decisions that seem the best ones at the time, but that they have consequences they cannot foresee and that make us wish. With 2020 hindsight, they had acted differently. In another context, Jacob's blessing Pharaoh might imply no more than his greeting Pharaoh. But the fact that Genesis twice tells us about this blessing confirms that in this context, it takes up a key theme. Remember, Joseph's story is part of his father's story, and thus of his grandfather's and great-grandfather's story, which begins with God's promise that he and his descendants are to be means of blessing to the nations. Joseph has been bringing that about in an admittedly equivocal way. Jacob's blessing Pharaoh is a sacramental sign of it. And what's really cool is their job was to bless the nation, but now then who did they tithe? Melchizedek. So Abraham tithed Melchizedek, which is dope. Then we see Jesus, who is in the order of Melchizedek. All right. But yet from the loins of Abraham. All right. We can bounce, my friend.